Wherever you are and whatever you might be doing. Welcome once again to the Punch Studio for today's edition of Punch Sport Extra. My name is Abiodun Adewale, your driver for this particular drive time. And of course, I'm joined in the studio by the one and only Segun Odunayo Damzi, who will be providing some of the insights and analysis into some of the hot topics that we have. A very action-packed weekend, ushering us into another week. The international break might be coming, leagues might be going on break, but then we will be busy with international games while the African games is still up and running in Europe.
Good afternoon to
in
you.
Ghana, so
Good afternoon to you, Biodun. Good afternoon to your viewers. Indeed, the international break is here, but there was still some time for Bright Osai Samuel to show how bright he was on the pitch of play, not just with his legs, but with his hands, breaking a few things that probably included attracting blood to the face of some irate fans. But I guess that is the beauty of football. Sometimes you can show that you are good enough in just more than one sport.
Well, you can imagine if that happened in our own part of the country, in our own league, the narrative might just have been different. But then we'll come to that much later on the show. But first, let's take a look at the front page of today's Punch Sport Extra, which is carrying the lead story on Nigeria's winger Samuel Chukwueze, who was taking 8 months since joining AC Milan in the Serie A to score his first Serie A goal, and it was in their 3-1 win yesterday when they were just trying to look for a way to shove. He came on as a second half substitute and volleyed home their 3rd goal of the game. And historically, they had scored their 5,000th Serie A goal, courtesy of Christian Pulisic, while Chukwueze added a 3rd, and of course, he takes it up from 5,000 to 5,001, and his first goal in Serie A since joining them in July 2023.
I think I'm particularly happy for Samu. I remember that at a point, they had to tell him, hey, this is Milan. You have to come to the party real quick. It wasn't really firing from a good range. Same for the Super Eagles. In fact, same persons have said that it was one of the major reasons why we lost the AFCON, because there was no firepower from him up front on the left flank. I remember that just before he left Villarreal, he wasn't actually in form. He was blowing hot and cold at the same time. But thankfully, somehow, probably because of the prowess of his manager, he was able to get the Milan call. And we were all expecting him to fire very quickly. His manager was saying at one point, just the same way they are telling Awoni now that, hey, you can't keep getting injured. They told him, Samuel Chukwueze, this is the red side of Milan. They don't stay calm too often. Thankfully, he was able to get a goal yesterday. Came on as a substitute. There was some scrabbling from a corner kick, and boom, Samuel Chukwueze came alive like we know he can. Hopefully, he can continue this trend, because if you do not play at that level, perhaps you are not good enough for AC Milan.
Of course. So the first of many for Samuel Chukwueze, maybe after the international break, he will be open that he will continue to add to his tally. He has 2 goals now in all competitions for AC Milan this season. Not good enough for a man that scored about 36 goals and over 30 assists for Villarreal in his time there. But we hope this will inspire a new form for him on the red side of Milan. Talk about other stories that are making the headlines on the paper today. We have another one coming from a Nigerian striker, but almost going into some part of the brain that you don't want to remember. That is Emmanuel Dennis, who has been earning the praise of interim manager of Watford, Tom Cleverley, for his goal in their 1-0 win over Birmingham City. And just yesterday, too, there were so many actions from the English FA Cup, and we have 2 of them screaming on the air, on the papers this morning, today as well. That drama at Old Trafford with Amad Diallo coming on, and I still remember the headlines that one of our colleagues used on the back page of the paper as well. Diallo sees red, scores late winner, sees reds, as Red Devils knock red out of the FA Cup.
Wow, fantastic power play there. Fantastic show of words as well. But I think Ahmed Diallo must have gotten inspiration from Cameroonian Vincent Aboubakar, who scored one of the best goals at
during the World Cup,
and then pulled off his shirt after getting
shook
the
hands
first
with the referee,
shook hands with the referee, and majestically walked out on the pitch. Same thing happened yesterday, except that Amad Diallo didn't shake the referee. Scored a sweet winner. Winner it was at the end of the day. Pulled up his shirt to say, "Know my name, know my name. My name is Amad Diallo." And then just before I could say Jack Robinson, he discovered it was his second
yellow card.
And it looked like a substitution because the fans were clapping for him. He gave his jersey to
and he said he forgot.
Boy, and he walked off the pitch. Thankfully, Liverpool didn't come back to score the 4th goal and eventually go on to win, because if that had happened, it would have gone from hero to villain as fast as possible. So good one for him.
Well, closely related to Samuel Chukwueze, again, Taiwo Awoniyi will be missing in action when the Super Eagles will be in action on Friday and next Tuesday in 2 friendly matches against the Black Stars of Ghana and Mali. Like you said, Nottingham Forest fans are already telling him they don't have much time, and
missed 11 games already.
Relegations might just be staring at them in the face, so they don't have enough time. He has to come back and rescue them like he did.
Yeah, the former manager was saying that if Taiwo was fit, perhaps he would not have lost his job. He's one of their hottest strikers. He's not their highest goal scorer this season. That belongs to Chris Wood. But we all know what Taiwo Awoniyi can do when he's in form. He doesn't mind the club he's playing against. He scores, and you can just have this feeling of Taiwo Awoniyi on the pitch. Unfortunately for him, his health has been a major problem, because unlike when he was in Germany, he has not really played as many games as he would have wanted. Hopefully when he comes back around this time, he goes on to score goals that will ensure Nottingham Forest does not get relegated, and hopefully the Kwara-born Nigerian footballer will be fine.
Before we go to other things now, off the back of that knockout against Francis Ngannou, Anthony Joshua has now taking a step further, a step higher in the heavyweight rankings of a magazine in the UK. And good times for him. It looks like everything is falling back in place gradually.
50 million in the bag, a holiday trip with someone that was said to be his woman or lady, somewhere in the sands of the desert. I mean, what else do you expect? The man just had 50 million bucks a couple of weeks ago. I think it's even up to 2 weeks already. Probably planning his next fight. Even if there's no next fight in the next 6 months, 50 million, Biodun, he'll still be enjoying himself. He lives at home with his mother. Where is that again? I can't remember the town.
Somewhere around Watford?
Yeah, Watford. Yeah, he lives with his mother in Watford. There's always lights, there's food to eat, there's water to drink. There's no, there's no going to buy fuel at a Magboro bus stop. It's a good life for him.
Let's not digress
It's a good life.
into comparison of a common man's life with a man that has made over 500 million pounds in total earnings in boxing. Well, the African Games is up and running, is still up and running in Ghana, and athletes are hitting the ground today in track and field events, and we've had some hits in the morning session. The afternoon session will come up. But first, before we talk about that, let's go now to Europe and talk about the wraps of the European leagues that we had over the weekend with Bayern Leverkusen extending.
Bayern Leverkusen extended their win. I mean, you all know that they've gone unbeaten all through this season.
Now it's 38.
It's 38 games. And you have 38 games in the English league. And then these guys have already done 38 in all competitions. They've not lost one single game, even when it looks like they're going to lose. They won 3-2.
Yeah.
Bayern also won with Harry Kane scoring a hat-trick. He has scored over 30 goals now.
Already a German record.
In the German Bundesliga, that is a record. I mean, this is a new guy, but this guy can score even in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Anywhere there's a ball and there's a post, Harry Kane will always score. So at 10 points, the gap is there between Bayern Leverkusen and Bayern Munich. 10 points with, I think, 9 more games to go. It remains to be seen if Bayern Leverkusen will capitulate and allow Bayern Munich and Harry Kane win the Bundesliga.
And they don't have to win the rest of their matches.
They don't. 10 points. They don't. That means they have
only
3
Bayern
games to
who
lose.
must win
all their games. I mean, they don't have to win.
And hope something happens to Bayern Leverkusen.
But with this form, it remains to be seen if there's a miracle in store for Bayern Munich. Very quickly, we move over to the Italian Serie A, where for the first time in a long time, Inter Milan did not get all 3 points. They drew with Napoli, who, funny enough, did not have Victor Osimhen play a single game. He was on the bench all through. I mean, I was thinking, there's no Victor Osimhen. What's the game plan? And he did not even come on at all. They were able to grab a point thanks to a former Inter player in the 83rd or 84th minutes, Uran, coming on to grab the equalizer. But still in the Italian Serie A now, Juventus is out of the top 2. They couldn't win. They lost their star player, Duvan Vlahovic, in the 92nd minute. I mean, he got 2 yellow cards.
In a goalless draw against Genoa.
I don't even know what happened to him. He just lost his cool. And
he talks about how frustrating that game must have been for them. A goalless draw at home. And
very
of course,
bad.
their top striker getting
they lost chances. I watched that game. Chiesa missed chances for fun. Vlahovic himself was not connecting with Chiesa, and it's one that the old lady will want to forget in a hurry. Real Madrid won 4-2. Vini Jr. coming to the party again, doing good things off the pitch and on the pitch. Sorry, doing good things on the pitch, not staying out of controversy off the pitch. The whole thing about Vini Jr. getting booed by opposition fans, the whole racism shout. I think for his career, he should just stay cool. Try to build this superstar player form that Jude Bellingham is having, even though he got a red card recently. But Real Madrid could win 4-2, 10 points off Barcelona in second place, who destroyed Atletico Madrid yesterday. It looks like Diego Simeone does not have a solution to beating Barcelona, regardless of who is manager, because he just never gets it right. A red card for Xavi yesterday. The referee was not happy with the number of times he was talking. And then, 10 points in La Liga, 10 points in the Serie A, 10 points in the Bundesliga. I think it's a season of 10 points.
But we can't say the same thing about the English Premier League, although there were many blank game week.
For FPL players, you probably ate this weekend. But in the EPL this weekend, it was interesting. No goals for the Faves. There was no goal for Evan Toney. He got a yellow card. There was no goal for Oli Watkins as well.
Even for Morris, there was no goal for
Morris. There was no goal for Son. There was nothing, no goal, no assist for Madison. But for the few games that were on, relegation battles mostly.
And of course, the top 4 race between Spurs and Aston Villa.
Still very much on, because Spurs lost terribly against Fulham, where 2 Nigerian boys were. In fact, one of them got an assist in Calvin Bassey. Alex Iwobi was the first to hug him. They both have dreads. They look alike. They look like twins, really. But the relegation battle is really on now. Nottingham Forest is closer down to the deep than ever before. They are just above the last 3. They had a draw. They played a draw at the weekend. But the FA Cup was where the FA Cup was where the real action was. Chelsea against Leicester City. Chelsea scored first, and then they lost the penalty thanks to Raheem Sterling, popularly known as Egbon Adugbo. And then they made it 2, and then
only to do giveaway.
Let's do giveaway again as they were in the mood. Leicester came back 2-1, 2-2. And then just when we thought the game was going into extra time, the boys that many people have attacked all through the season, Chukwuemeka now, yes,
and
Chukwuemeka got a beautiful goal, and then Noni Madueke, 2 Nigerian boys, they are not Nigerian, but they are Nigerians, we know. I came to the party, got a 3rd and a 4th goal respectively. This morning, Mario Pochettino has come out to say, hey, you guys are saying we are doing badly. But we got into Wembley twice in 2 competitions. Take it easy on us. I think that is all for the European leagues. We did La Liga, we did Serie A, we did the English Premier League, we did the FA Cup. Over to you, Bjorn.
Before we leave that place, Bright Osayi Samuel and the Turkish Super League. Imagine if that happened in the MPFL. What narrative we will be pushing this time?
The issue for me, Bjorn, is that
it's about the fans.
We don't see that happen often in the Turkish league, but it's more like a norm.
But the Turkish league is as well as notorious as any other league in sub-Saharan Africa.
As the MPFL.
But then these are things we see in Turkey most times.
I think
it's
the
not
problem,
like it doesn't.
I think the problem is, we are used to our own notoriety here, and some of us are tired of it. And we are saying we can do better. And even if other people are messing up, the fact that other people's children are failing does not mean my own child should go to school and fail
as well.
Do you get? So that is the issue. We can do better than this. Is a billion. Okay, let's not go $1 billion. This is a billion naira commodity that we have on our hands, and then we are treating it with fanfare. No, I think we should not.
But then for Bright Osayi Samuel, he had to do what he had to do.
I hope
when invaders. It was a tense game.
I hope he doesn't become dull when the Turkish FA comes down upon him. I really do hope that he doesn't get into trouble, because somehow the blogs and the Nigerian media space have been making it about Bright Osayi Samuel. The video that is online that everybody has been watching was where Bright Osayi Samuel was hitting the guy. Many persons have not seen where those guys came upon the Fenerbahce players, especially on Bright Osayi Samuel. We are just talking about how Bright Osayi Samuel was teaching that guy a couple of lessons like an average angry Nigerian would. I just hope. Anyway, he's going to be with the Super Eagles team. Hopefully, we'll hear more from them when they come. I mean, when the guys come back and the Nigerian media will have the time to speak with the guys.
Well, to me, it's all about the irate fans. It's been like that. Very notorious set of people. And it was a tense game. I saw the result at 2-2 before they even scored the late winner.
Yeah,
so I guess they must have been infuriated.
It's a battle in the Turkish league. 2 points between Fenerbahce and Trabzonspor.
Trabzonspor,
yeah. Just 2 points, 79-81.
Well, so Galatasaray is just above.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's basically just a battle. The Fenerbahce are second. Gala are first. 2 points. Even the game Gala won was thanks to who again? Another late goal. So, it looks like there's going to be some battle.
Was it a 4-3 win over Kasim Pasa? Away from home as well.
It was a battle. One
hell of a game as well. So let's move away from Europe now and come back to Africa, where we're having the African Olympics going on in Accra, Ghana. And today, athletes have started burning the tracks, while field events are also loading with a number of events going up onto the semi-finals today. I'm talking about the 100 meters in the men's event and the 100 meters in the women's event as well. We've had some heats with Usheorishe Ishekiri being the fastest man for Nigeria in his heats, and of course in his time and in his heats he was only as good as second for our fastest time. And our own talk about someone you can call the rave when it comes to about athletes on the local scene now. Consider Ekanem, who had a world lead in the 100 meters at some time this year, even up until now, if I have to check, was also in the heats. Convincingly too, he got into the to the semi-finals. So we'll be seeing about 3 other Nigerians in the women's 100 meter and men's 100 meter later in action in the semi-finals, and hopefully they will be able to pick a spot in the final of the 100 meters event tomorrow. But aside that, we'll still have the 400 meters, the 800 meters, the women's 5,000 meters final will be decided today. I'm not sure we have anybody in that category.
I won't be too surprised if we don't, because it's not our thing. But for Ishekiri, I mean, he used to be Nigeria's fastest man at a point. I mean, I think I'm disappointed that we don't have the top guys. By the top guys, I mean the top guys that we used to have. Perhaps time has years have rolled by. But I mean, there's this. What's the name of this guy again? This guy from Ife.
Olusoji Fashuba.
No. This current guy
from Ife.
Yes.
Good enough. Enoch Adegoke. He's still there, but I'm surprised he wasn't listed for the 100 meters.
100 meters, and we all know that is his favorite. At the last Olympics, it was the rave of the moment from the last Olympics, and we expected that over the years between then and now, you know, before the new Olympics. I mean, this Olympics, it will be somewhere there. I don't know. Injuries have been a problem. Maybe, but Shaqiri has been there over time. Nigeria's fastest man at the point came second today, which I don't really.
And he's the current national champion as well. From the national trials that was held the last time.
And then in the heat he came second. I mean, if you put all of these guys, anyway, let's see what the semi-finals and the finals will hold.
Well, about Enoch Adegoke, from some certain things that I understand, I do not know why he didn't run in the 100 meters, but then he's coming into the Nigerian team for the first time since the 2020 Olympics.
Yes.
So for him, he's easing back into it, and his time over the seasons this year, some of the athletic season in Nigeria, some of the races he did, he has not been able to really reproduce that sub 10, but then he has been just about 10 points, 10 points, and funny enough, no other 100-meter runner for Nigeria has been able to do sub 10 this year as well. So he's still in that path for their
to get in the.
But then, so hopefully, he might just be maybe among the 4x100-meter relay quartets, and maybe we will see him and Alaba Akintola in the 200. But Enoch does not really do the 200-meter from the Enoch we know. It's the 100.
It's best with 100. I think he tried 200 at a point, but you know, it's best with 100. It starts with this burst. It pushes forward with energy, and then you just see him in the last 30 just pushing his weight. But for Shaqiri, I mean, like I said, he's a guy we all know. He's a guy we know his capabilities, we know his abilities. He's that good. We just hope that somehow luck is also on their side this day.
All right, for other events that are taking place today at the African Games, we have the continuation of the men's cricket, and Nigeria is currently taking on Namibia in their second game. They lost their first game against Tanzania on Sunday, and they are hoping that today they might be able to pull something. But at the end of the first innings, Nigeria will now need about 122 runs in order to beat Namibia. They are currently batting, so let's just keep our fingers crossed and wait for that.
The women won.
They won bronze
the other day. You've been covering them back to back,
and it's like the biggest thing that they've done recently since the development of women's cricket in Nigeria.
It's something to cheer. I mean, cricket in Nigeria itself is not really followed by too many persons, and if you begin to go on and on, many persons may just feel you are boring them. But those guys are actually doing a fantastic job, really. And then for female cricket in Nigeria, and then at the African level, to get bronze in a sport that many persons are still coming up to becoming used to, I think it's a good one. Hopefully, they can build on that in the future.
Very hopeful that they will be able to build on that. And of course, in boxing, there will still be actions today by 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Nigerian time. And of course, there were controversies last night about the result of a particular Nigerian boxer twisted by the match commissioner, but then protests flying here and there, petitions here and there. And let's just hope they get to resolve that one. In the football event as well, the Falconets will also be playing in the semi-final. Well,
for them.
In the handball
like
too.
Their male counterparts.
Ladamboso boys.
Yeah, just Ladambosoism. Nothing special.
Nothing special. And of course, in the handball too, we'll be progressing at the their sports complex today. Just as hockey and the tennis event continues, the likes of Kodri Nilomo, Mary Love Edwards, and others have been stretching and sweating it on the court since the tennis event began some 3 days ago.
I think they've been doing really well. Like you said, they've been stretching and sweating it. We just hope that there is some gain to the sweat and the stretch at the end of the day.
Well, as it stands on the medals table, Egypt looks like they are taking an unassailable lead at top of the medals table. 90 golds already, 35 silver, 25 bronze, and in total it's 154. Followed by Nigeria in second position with 27 gold medals, 21 silver, 28 bronze medals, and 76 in total. Now, the neck and neck race about who finishes second, which is like the first position in the African Games.
That's what we are doing, because the first is done and dusted already. It's Egypt, 90 gold medals.
So it's Nigeria.
Give it to them, they've won it all.
Except
Nigeria. There's no miracle. I don't think there's a miracle that is coming up. They've won it. Second, Nigeria is 20-something. First is 90. How can you win something between now and...
There are just few events between now and Saturday when the games will end. So it's Nigeria in second, South Africa in third, Algeria chasing in third. Maybe Tunisia are in the equation, but they are far in fifth position with 10 golds, 20 silver, 29 bronze, and 59 in total. So it's just Nigeria, South Africa, and Algeria looking for who comes second, who comes third, and who takes it. And over time, from what we have left now with the athletics event running up until Friday, Nigeria has ever dominated it, no matter how bad it seems. We've ever dominated that event.
We'll get medals.
But it's a question of how many do we get from here now, and how close are we going? How far are we going to steer clear of the chasing pack of South Africa and Tunisia?
I think it remains to be seen. The coming days will shed more light on that. I mean, I'm particularly interested in athletics because, of course, that's one of the most watched sports when the Olympics are around the corner. We know it's the Olympic year already, so this is like a countdown. This is like a preparation ground for the Olympics. Let's look at our guys. Let's be honest with ourselves and say, hey, this is how well we have done. This is how far we have done. You know, in Nigeria, it is always when we have a tournament coming up that everybody begins to run up and down. While those guys that understand what sports is all about, basically, do their planning and structuring.
At the end of one event, they've
already started planning. And then, you know, when it's time, there's no miracle that comes out. But here, we believe in God so much that sometimes...
Let's crisscross back to Europe, and it's the draw of the UEFA Champions League. The last states, the same with the UEFA Europa League. Well, maybe no separation, maybe just some litmus test for some boys and for some men as well. But as it is, with the pairing of Real Madrid and Manchester City, Shegun,
I think they are used to it already. I think one of the managers said that you know, somehow they just find a way of bringing the big boys together. But it's the UEFA Champions League. If you are not ready to play with the big boys, then stay in the Conference League or something. But when it comes to this stage, you know, anybody can meet anybody. And then, you know, for lovers of football like some of us, I mean, we just want to see the big rumble. want to see the Vini come up against City. We want to see Foden come up against the defense of Real Madrid. We want to see these classic games. Luka Modric, this will probably be one of his last Champions League seasons. If this is not the last, one of the last. Toni Kroos as well. We want to see what City can do with Erling Haaland. This is time for him to show that I can come to the party on a big time scale again last season, and to show that last season was not a flash. Kevin De Bruyne will probably still be injured, but if he's not, I'm sure he's sweating and ready to come back. Pep Guardiola will want to do a back-to-back. So it's for the big boys. I mean, City versus Real Madrid is a fixture that everybody in the world that understands football will definitely want to watch. One
last dance for Kylian Mbappe at PSG.
Yes, I think he will want to win this for them. Remember that he has tried not to go, live with a fight. Met with the Dubai Real member recently. Met with
President Macron.
Yes, met with the French president. I mean, I think they must have tried to convince him. Kylian stay once again, like happened in 2022. But hey, this is 2024. It's 26 this year. If he doesn't leave, he'll never leave. So perhaps, and this is probably one of the best times to beat Barcelona. There's a Xavi that is leaving, but there's this vigor that Barcelona has had since Xavi said he's leaving. I think same with Klopp as well. There's this energy that they have. So perhaps it will be difficult. But for lovers of football, we just sit down on our couch and watch good football.
Neutrals. Arsenal on their return, they get to meet their best friends, Bayern Munich.
I think I love this. But Arsenal fans are some of the best with their mouths. They always love to do so much of analysis. They are great. But I mean, for Mikel Arteta, perhaps this is not the season for him to be playing against Bayern, because he's chasing a league that there's a possibility he will get. And then you're also going to be chasing the Champions League. I know he will have his eyes on both, and that's where the problem will come. Whose players do you keep for what games? What games do you know? This tactics thing may just come up in his head. But of course, for a big club like Arsenal, they've not been here in a long while. And this is time for them to show that, hey, we can do everything. I mean, we can win the league. Yeah, they want to make a statement. But Thomas Muller has done his video. And we all know what happens when
he was telling his brother, Kai Havertz, we'll meet again.
I am waiting for
that guy just loves Arsenal.
And the man that loves scoring against Arsenal, we know him, Harry Kane. When he was at Spurs, he always scored. Now he's having fun scoring 31 goals in Bundesliga. Perhaps when he comes up against Arsenal, he may want to show them some pepper. But hey, William Saliba having a fantastic time. Benjamin White, fantastic time. David Raya caught some penalties the other day.
Against Porto.
I mean, we just want to see the best of football, really.
Two teams in crisis, Atletico Madrid and Borussia Dortmund, will also face off. But let's just keep our fingers crossed and see. Well, in the second tier, we have AC Milan against AS Roma, an all-Italian affair, and Liverpool going up against Atalanta. It's going to be Bayern Leverkusen against West Ham United. And of course, we'll have Benfica, against Olympique Marseille in the last pairing. Everybody is already talking about the possibility of seeing Liverpool against Bayern Leverkusen.
I think the fixtures of the Europa League are as much fun as the Champions League. I mean, look at the pairing: Liverpool, Atalanta, West Ham coming up against Bayern Leverkusen. What games are there again? Roma against Milan. I mean, that's an Italian derby. Yeah, it's interesting all through in the Europa
League as well.
Europa League, I beg your pardon, Europa League as well. So for me, it's going to be fun. I mean, I'm going to be enjoying both. Perhaps the third tier too, but majorly the Champions League and Europa League.
All right, before we go on the show, let's quickly talk about the FA Cup semi-final draw. Coventry against Manchester United. Are they through to the final already?
With what we saw Coventry do against Wolves, I think it will be deadly for anybody to write them off. 2 goals past 90 minutes. That is not anything anybody should joke with. And then it's Manchester United. They blow hot and cold. You never really know how
against Liverpool, they weren't pressing at some point. The next
I think Liverpool threw the game away, really.
Complacent.
I think Salah should not have gone off at that time that it went off. If Salah had been there, they probably would have scored some of those chances. Elliott was able to rescue something for them. But for this is Manchester United. There are too many bad days.
City against Chelsea.
Epic. It's going to be another Cole Palmer against his former boys. It looks like he turns up mostly when he plays against City.
Well, as we head home on the show this afternoon, let's quickly talk about what is happening on home front in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Yesterday, we saw Shooting Star Sports Club of Ibadan, 3SC, the Oluyole Warriors, upshooting, getting their first win over Remo Stars since 2017. What a rivalry. And they did it in style, 2-0, with one of their former players currently in the ranks of Remo Stars, Sikiru Alimi, and the second highest goal scorer in the league, or perhaps the third if you look at 12-12-11, getting a red card in that game. What happened to Alimi? Maybe a talk for another day. But then the beauty of what we saw, Christian Piagbara returning to football after 3 years, getting the 2 goals against for Shooting Stars against Remo Stars. And Coach Benga Ogumbote already said he had a feeling that they were going to beat Remo this time around. I think
Shooting Stars have some of the best, or should I use some of the most emotional fans in the Nigerian Premier Football League. Those guys are epic. If you get into that stadium and you are playing against Shooting Stars at the Lekon Salami, you have to really be good. It wasn't a good day for Sikiru Alimi, who has been ranting online ever since, including other members of their team, ranting online that he was attacked, he was bullied. You know, some of these things cannot be taken away from football, even as much as we don't condone them. But you have to be tough mentally. But he said it was more than that. But for the football, I think it was kudos to Benga Ogumbote's side. The fans there in Ibadan are not a set of fans that you joke with.
And they enjoyed every bit of it. Yes.
If you don't do, in fact, if you win and you don't win well, they will still
complain. They
will be outside ready to speak their Ibadan Yoruba, and they're always there. But I think good one, you know, not just in that game yesterday, but all round. Good 3 points too for Sporting Lagos as well.
Back-to-back wins.
Back-to-back. Plateau United lost.
Not back-to-back wins. Back-to-back wins at home.
Oh, at home, yeah. Back-to-back home wins. Plateau United lost to Kaduna United. There was a draw for Sunshine Stars. Goalless draw for Sunshine Stars, and you needed to see the way they were buzzing. And of course, no controversy this weekend, unlike last weekend.
Yeah, when we had
where there was
was Obiva. To check a contentious goal.
We had to do it our own way, our own VAR. The referee had to go pause, watch it, and then say, yes, it was a goal. Yeah, so good one. Remo Stars are third. They have a game in hand. If they win that game in hand.
Fourth now.
Fourth, sorry, I beg your pardon.
And they're followed by Shooting Stars.
If they win, they'll go back to second. It's going to be another interesting season for the top dogs. I mean, you can just see that everybody's fighting to win it. Even Enyimba that are not up there really, are not down there. They're somewhere in the middle. And then the spark is on. I'm loving it.
Well, upshooting for this week, and if you call that one the last strike on the show for this week, yes, you are definitely right. So we'll come back at the same time next Monday to talk about many other things, and of course, to talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We'll be involved in 2 international friendlies, one on Friday against the Black Stars of Ghana, and of course, against Mali next Tuesday. Until then, I am Abiodun Adewale, and on behalf of Segun Odunayo and every member of the production crew, it's bye for now.